Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Esa Ulva NPM 1911040343. I'm from UIN Radinington, major English education. Today, in this video, I will tell you about the story of Kingdom Season 1. Kingdom is a 2019 South political period horror, thriller, web television series. Written by Kim Eun-hee and directed by Kim Song-hoon. It is a first Netflix original Korean series, which premiered on January 25, 2019. The series is adapted from the webcomic series The Kingdom of the Gods, which was authored by Kim Eun-hee and drawn by Yang Kyung-il. The cast from this drama, first there is Ju Ji-hoo as a Prince Crown Lee Chang, and then there is Bedona as a Sobi, is the nurse, and then there is Kim Sung-kyun as a Young Sin, and then there is Jo Seok-ho as a Jo Bompal, there is Ru Seung-ryung as a Lord Jo Hak-ju, and then there is Kim Hye-jun as a Queen Consort Cho. And then there is Kim Sang-ho as a Mu-young, and the last there is Hee Jo-hoon as a Lord Ah-hyung. 10 days have passed since the king collapsed from an illness. Queen Cho and her father, chief state councilor Cho Hak-ju, have forbidden anyone to see the king, even his own son, the crown prince Lee Chang. He forbidden to see his father. In the meantime, chief state councilor Cho Hak-ju rules Joseon with iron fist, but rumor spread the king was dead. Rapidly, rumors the king is dead is spread out until makes Crown Prince Lee Chang worries about the condition of his father, and then he kneel all the day, besieged in order to see his father. Unfortunately, he cannot see his father because the queen did not give permission. But he's still curious about the condition of his father. So he decided to go to the king palace in the middle of night. When in the king palace, Crown Prince Lee Chang sees something sinister in there. And there is something sneak into the king palace, and he sees a shadow monster through a door. Rumors of the king's death spread outside the palace, so chief state councilor Cho Hak-ju, accompanied by his bodyguard, thundered a rumor of the king's death in outside the palace. There were at least 100 notices posted throughout the Hanyang area. Until finally, chief state councilor Cho Hak-ju commissioned him were arrested. Chief state councilor Cho Hak-ju believed that the message the king has died, new wines will be blown, that was created by order of Crown Prince Lee Chang. He has assigned his men to arrest Lee Chang, who is looking for his father's condition. But Crown Prince Lee Chang was go to looking for his father's condition. On his way to determine the condition of his father, Crown Prince Lee Chang planned to see the physician who had been treating the king. Unfortunately, the distance between the palace in Hanyang and the medical clinic at Dongnae is 315 kilometers away. But Lee Chang made a decision. He chose to go to the Dongnae, thought it was so far away. While the Crown Prince Lee Chang on his way, a horrific incident started in the doctor clinic. A clinic that was initially calm and filled with people who were sick turn into a slaughter, turn into a terrible hell when a plague starts. In the episode 1, the Jilhyong clinic located in the Dongnae region was discovered to have contracted a plague because of disease that came from His Majesty as a result of eating the king human flesh. All the patients at the clinic turned into a hero zombie. Crown Prince Li Chang and his personal bodyguard Muyong is certainly not aware of the disaster that occurred there. It is because they are still on their way, trying to figure out what the king's true condition is. Because the queen and the chief state councillor Chohakju hide the fact that His Majesty had already turned into a living corpse, hungry for human blood. Next is episode 2. When arrived in Dongni, Jilhyun clinic was full of blood and corpse. When they are arrived at the Jilhyun clinic, Li Chang and Muyong have a wondering what was happened here. A structure or the building that had been calm and filled with sick people turned into a slaughter ground filled with pointed bamboo and blood anywhere. Until they finally found a pile of bodies hidden under the house. Seeing that something was wrong, they sought help from the nearby magistrate office. That where they found out about the 48 corpse. Li Chang, who kept finding out, finally he decided to go around Dongnae with Muyong. After questioning, they learned that there had been a survivor of the massacre at the clinic. She is a nurse named Sobi. According to the informant's statement, Li Chang and Muyong looking for nurse Sobi whereabouts in the frozen village. When they arrived there, they saw Sobi was so worn out and exhausted, scratching the dirt. When asked about it, Sobi admitted that she was looking for the plant that was the source of the plague. Li Chang and Muyong, who heard that news about the zombie, so distrusted that they wanted to prove the third. Meanwhile, another survivor named Yang Xin, the man who cooked human flesh for the victim at the clinic, ran to the magistrate office where the bodies were secured. He is trying to make sure that 48 bodies are not dead. In front of the judge and all the people of Dongning, he said that they will come back to live as soon as the sunset. Yang Xin finally locked in the dungeon. This is same with Nurse Sobi, who arrived late because they didn't want to give the third what exactly happened in the clinic until finally night come. One by one the dead come back to live and struck down the magistrate office and the nearby village. In a hurry, the 48 people who died at the Jilhyun were consuming the hundreds of humans there. In the second chapter of Kingdom, the first zombie plague attacked the king in Hanyang, already spread in the Dongnae region. A clinic called Jilhyun became the start of the slaughter ground and killed hundreds of villagers. It all happens really fast because every victim who got bit by the zombie would directly convulse and die. Within a few seconds, they would wake up and turn into the same monster. In the third episode, The zombie attacks are getting crazy at Dongning and threaten the safety of the people, not exception the crown prince Li Chang. The first incident in the magistrate office suddenly turned into a disaster that destroyed an entire village. All night running in a fear, a sudden zombie attack ends at sunrise. When a sunrise coming, the zombie, whatever happened, the zombie did everything to hide themselves because the sunrise. They are hide everyone and then die again. The physician who brought the king to life believed this plague could be cured of herbs. At one scene, the physician at Yulhyong Clinic was able to leave a message before he died to Sobi because he acknowledged that the zombie plague that was a cure in Hanyang, this was very different with what happened in Dongning. The physician assistant who became the king victims became ill for days after being bitten, and he died like a human. While the zombie attack that occurred at Dongning only in one bit be able to alter the victim into the same monster. In this episode 4, one by one the mystery finally began to unfold. From a very beginning, the causes of the king in Hanyang turned into a zombie until the zombie who hide under the clinic and under the sun in Dongning. In here, in the fourth episode, Yang Xin is a try to save the villager from the zombie. Following the fourth episode, you will be so uptight look on the struggle of Crown Prince Li Chang and Nurse Sobi, Yang Xin, and the cast that fighting the zombie. Moreover, they first cut at Dongning. The chief magistrate and the nobles left the island with a freighter. All that remains in the village just Crown Prince Li Chang and a Muyong, Sobi, and all of a survivor villager and 100 of zombie. Even the disappointed, Li Chang has been betrayed by the head judge. He ordered everyone to beg the Jihyong clinic, and not without a reason, because it is the only safe zone from a zombie attack at sunset. And then Prince Li Chang ordered all of the survivors to run until the Jihyong clinic. But in the middle of the journey to the clinic, they get a problem with one of the cart raising the elderly. The cart was caught among the stone, so the cart can't make a move. At the same time, the zombie who hiding under the cliff was wake up because the sunset was come, and they try to jump on Prince Li Chang and survivor in there. So they have to fight again with the zombie while trying to dig out the cart from the stone. Because Prince Li Chang did not want to drift off his people. He said if he is different with Clencho, so he have to rescue his people. Finally, they can drift off the cart so they can continue the journey to Jilhyun Clinic, even though they have to fight with the zombie, but they can save until arrive at the clinic. Unfortunately, while hiding in Jilhyun Clinic, Li Chang and a villager were attacked by the Hanyang Imperial Army. They were sent by Chief State Councilor Cho Hak-ju to arrest the Crown Prince Li Chang in there. In episode 4, Crown Prince Li Chang, Nurse Sobi, Yongxin, and all survivors in Donghae are trying to reach a Jilhyun clinic that to be a bunker. Unfortunately, on their way, they have to fight with the zombie again. After being awake all night, the next day, they still have to fight back with the royal army of Hanyang that the Chief State Councilor sent to arrest Crown Prince Li Chang. In episode 5, we can know the story that beginning in Sangju. The freighter that ridden by the magistrate head and the nobles who left Crown Prince Li Chang get attacked from the zombie in the middle of their voyage. Successfully claimed all life in that freighter, and this ship is landed perfectly on Sangju, on Sangju land, with all zombies asleep inside. After Crown Prince Li Chang escaped from the royal army of Hanyang that Chief State Councilor Jo Hak-ju sent, they are continue their journey to the Sangju to meet Lord Ah-hyong. In the middle of journey, they are passed through a jungle, and in that jungle, there is a village. They see people in the village or eat rice, meat, and they have a beautiful clothes. Crown Prince Li Chang feels something sinister. People in the jungle impossible have all of that, except they all rob someone. Crown Prince Li Chang asks with the villager in there, how you get all of this? At first, they didn't speak the truth if they get all of this from the ship. But finally, they speak. They said if they get all of this thing from that ship. And Prince Crown Li Chang asks where is the ship. They said from the ship that was landed in the river, but in that ship there is no someone alive. All of the people in that ship was died. Crown Prince Li Chang asked him to bring Li Chang to the cemetery because they are not died. People in that village didn't trust with Crown Prince Li Chang. What the villager not trust with what was Crown Prince Li Chang said, and they will kill Prince Li Chang. But before that, night was come, so the people who was dead in there wake up again, and they have to fight again with the zombie. Prince Li Chang almost give up to fight with the zombie because too much zombie there. When they can't fight again, suddenly they got help from Lord Ah-hyong. And this scenes as the first time Li Chang met again with Lord Ah-hyong, besides in palace. Ah-hyong himself is a person who worked in a palace, or in a kingdom, and also a man that called as a teacher by Li Chang when he's still young, not through a banquet or drink a tea while speak, but they finally meet in the field after wars again with the zombie. The night was so uptight because there is so much blood. There is so much blood and so much fire there. Recognizing the bad news, that the plague has reached Sangju, the Queen Jo, when her father Gaidis took a control of Ailing the kings, that when he took out an ultimatum to block all access of the Sangju. In episode 5, Prince Li Chang cannot solve alone with a fight with the zombie. Finally, they got help from Ahyong army. He was very influential and admired figure, and also a man called teacher by Crown Prince Lichang. And then at the end of chapter 5, the queen, at her father's instigation, chief stage counselor Cho Hak-ju, gave an ultimatum. They ordered a lockdown of all access, get in and access out the Sangju area in order to the plague not spared out. In this episode, the last episode, Ah-hyung told Lee Chang that there is a traitor in his group. The traitor was reported to the queen if Prince Lee Chang in Sangju at Ah-hyung house. After that, the royal army of Hanyang came to the crown Prince Lee Chang at Ah-hyung house, intent to arrest Crown Prince Lee Chang as the queen ordered. Unfortunately, they must lost their life because of Ah-hyung army. In order to they can't arrest Prince Lee Chang. From Sangju, the scenes change again into Hanyang in the kingdom palace. The queen found herself to be a subject for gossip, but by the servant. After hearing all of that, she gave the servant a lesson. He ordered the servant in order to help her to take a bath and remove her handbook. Unexpectedly, the queen's lies have revealed. If she was not pregnant, this is just a fleshhood of the queen. Come back again into Donghae and Sangju. Lee Chang led the war to fight back with the zombie. At the end of the story from Kingdom Season 1, Lee Chang aided Ah-hyung with the tropes of the story and the citizen, trying to save and make a block for a zombie attack. They use all of kind of weapons and make the best tactic to rescue Sangju from zombie. But apparently, all their attempt not like Zaption nor Sobi realize if there is something wrong or a mistake from the start. So that's all the story of Kingdom Season 1. For the next story, you have to watch for Kingdom Season 2 and Kingdom Season 3. Thank you. That's all for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.